Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your day with us. And we are going to start our morning with some songs from Shir Harmony.
Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be here and to sing with you again. For those of you who look forward to this every year, welcome back. It's so nice to be in person and on Zoom. For those of you who it was an act of bravery to come today, welcome. For those of you who it took a lot to get here, for whatever reason it was, we're so glad you're here. And we're so grateful once again to sing Jill Ann Mark's song in memory of her daughter. Many years ago, she came to my apartment and said, I want to sing this song to Jamie. And I have a little melody, and this is what it has become. And this is really for all of you, no matter why you've come. It's all about opening doors and walking through them. Sometimes we walk through them completely alone. Sometimes we're not alone, but we still feel alone. And it's our job to notice that there might be someone waiting on the other side or accompanying us, even when we can't tell. So this is for all of you, for all of us, for all of the hope that we hope to have today. It's the Jewish holiday of Sukkot. And for those of you who know what a sukkah is, you probably know that it's not very sturdy, especially in Minnesota. It was not designed for a Minnesota winter. In 2005, the same year as Hurricane Katrina, my wood sukkah in the morning was matchsticks. It was nothing, and we have built another one, which is so metaphoric and so real for our lives, is we're constantly rebuilding our shelters. And sometimes they last very well and protect us, and sometimes they fold. And that this holiday of Sukkot is about remembering that maybe ours feels steady today, but maybe the person we're next to does not, and vice versa. That we're always in a state of impermanence, no matter how sturdy we think our structure is. And that this song is sung in the daily liturgy in the Jewish faith every day, which is to spread out over me, God, to spread out over, I love the Jewish star over us here, just this idea of spread over me a shelter of peace, and that sometimes when we can't tell, we can say it to hope that we can remember that there is a shelter over us somehow, somewhere, someone. And so this is from the liturgy, and we hope that this helps all of us feel a sense of shelter. And finally, you probably know that if you're feeling down and put on a certain song, it can make you feel more down or it can make you feel very up. And that if nothing else, the radio is still there and we can turn it on and sing. And so this is our last song for us to remember that there's always singing.
In these hard times, there will always be singing. Always be singing in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be singing. Always be singing in these hard times. In these hard times.
If you want to join us, you can.
Always be singing. Always be singing in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be singing. Always be singing.
How about praying?
Hard times. In these hard times, there will always be praying. Always be praying in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be praying. Always be praying in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be dancing.
Especially when you're by yourself, right?
In these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be dancing. Always.
All right, they insisted that I say chocolate.
In these hard times, there will always be chocolate.
I didn't say yes. I didn't say yes.
In these hard times, in these hard times, there will always be chocolate. Always be chocolate in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be singing. Yes, in these hard times. In these hard times, there will always be singing. Always be singing in these hard times.
We want to wish you a really meaningful day. And these hard times are hard. And there is always other stuff that might have been mentioned here and other stuff. We'll say that. So I wish you a really healthy and happy day and good day for you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rabbi Jason Rodich. I am the newest rabbi here at Temple Israel, although I grew up here, so it's nice to see many familiar faces and to be in this very, very important place with you this morning. So important, isn't it? In this world that is full of pain and challenge that doesn't quite hold us, that we create spaces like this where we can hold one another towards healing, towards hope, towards possibility. So thank you for being here and welcome to Temple Israel on behalf of our whole clergy team. It's a pleasure to have you here. I was thinking what I could share with you this morning, and I thought of this very short poem by Rumi that I think might bring together, or at least for me brings together, the themes of this morning as well as Sukkot that Wendy spoke so beautifully about. It's called The Guest House. This human being is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing, invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. I know one of the things that I have learned in caring for my own well-being, my own wellness, is that I have to invite my whole self in wherever I go. That whenever I don't welcome the entirety of myself, something is off. And I think about Sukkot, which has as its central value a kind of radical hospitality. We welcome in our friends, our neighbors. We welcome in people that are no longer living, ancestors. And so as we think of that image of that structure that, yes, is fragile, but also beautifully open. It is beautifully open. So how might we be like Sukkot, that are vulnerable enough to invite our whole selves in today into our journeys moving forward? So again, thank you so much for being here, for doing this important work. I see it's been 24 years of this conference. Wow. So you were ready. Here we are in the midst of a national mental health crisis, right? But you weren't reactive to that. You built this long ago. You were ahead of your time, and thank God you are here to create space for what is needed today. So again, welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rabbi, for starting our day with words of welcome and wisdom. We are glad that you are all here today to build connection, community, and mental health toolkits. My name is Ruth Olkon, and I'm the CEO of Jewish Family Service of St. Paul. It's my pleasure, really, to be here today and to be a partner in the endeavor to support individuals and families on their mental health journey. And along with Judy Halper, CEO of Jewish Family and Children's Service of Minneapolis. We'd like to take a moment to recognize and thank several people for their tremendous, and did you get that? I'm underlining tremendous, efforts in developing this conference. Thank you to the 23 individuals who comprise the incredible Volunteer Conference Planning Committee for their commitment. I know. We're going to do applause later, but it's worth 2 applauses, you guys. They have been working for the past 10 months to develop a conference focused on meeting community mental health needs. A full list of committee member names is included in your program. I have special thanks to Tabitha Bensi Durango, JFCS Community Conference Manager. So she is the leader and planner for this conference, and it's in its 24th year, people. So I invite Tabitha and the members of the planning committee to stand for a round of applause. Stand up, folks, really. There they are. Incredible community leaders, thank you. We also want to express our gratitude to Temple Israel for welcoming the conference again this year.
Thank you to the clergy, staff, and members for hosting the conference and for helping elevate and integrate the issue of mental health in the community. This year, the keynote speaker address will be video recorded, and all breakout sessions will be audio recorded and available online by October 28th. You'll be able to listen to the sessions as you go for a walk, drive, cook, garden, or wherever you go about your day, and you can just take us with you. Additional thanks to the many generous donors whose support makes it possible to keep this conference free and open for all. Donor names are listed with appreciation in the conference program. Building connection, community, and mental health toolkits is the theme of this year's conference. We hope that you intentionally take time to connect with other conference attendees throughout the day as we come together in community with one another. Our day will bring many types of ways that we can support our mental health and well-being. Be sure to visit the resource fair, along with your presenters in the breakout sessions featured today, to collect various tools for your toolkits, including fidget items, ideas, resources, and knowledge. There's a lot of stuff out there, you guys. Yeah. We hope that the toolkit will empower you on your mental health journeys throughout the coming year. Complimentary recyclable bags are available at the resource fair for your collections. We'd like to take this time to share some important crisis line resources and encourage you to get it in your phones. Okay, this is supposed to oh, look at that, you guys. It like magically came on the screen, right? So here are the resources. We recognize and value these tools that assist in keeping us and others around us safe and allow for access as needed. We are grateful that these crisis lines exist and for the many people who ensure these resources.
Thank you, Ruth, for setting the stage of our deep appreciation for all the individuals whose time, knowledge, expertise, and resources make this annual Mental Health Education Conference possible. We would also like to share our appreciation to all the presenters of the conference who will be equipping us with their wisdom to build our own mental health toolkits. As we open the conference, we have a few more announcements about today's schedule. Volunteers wearing green lanyards and name tags will help you find your way around the building. Green means that is a go-to person who can help assist you as needed. Lunch will be offered downstairs in Minda Hall at 12:30 after breakout session 1 is completed. Have a wonderful short lunch and be sure to take in the resource fair before attending breakout session 2, which will start promptly at 1:30. Staff from both JFCS Minneapolis and JFS St. Paul, along with over 20 agencies and services, are available in the resource fair located in the atrium. We encourage you to engage in all the learning and engagement opportunities. Hennepin County Library is also at the resource fair. The library has books from the recommended book list for 2024 that you are able to check out and take home with you today. Please return to the sanctuary after breakout session 2 for a brief closing session led by Joe Davis, who is an award-winning spoken word artist and best-selling author who uses poetry to power possibility. Just a few more housekeeping items. Please fill out the green evaluation form that you received in your program as you go through the day. Your feedback is important to the planning of the conference. Turn in your evaluation form at the information table at the end of the day and take the opportunity to enter a drawing to win prizes. Mental health professionals are here today to accommodate responses of heightened emotions that can occur during the day. If you need a check-in with someone during the day, ask a room host or check in at the information table, and we will get you some assistance. It is now my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Kathy Flaminio, and her keynote session titled Challenges into Superpowers. Kathy Flaminio is the founder and CEO of Move Mindfully, a training and consulting company on the science of mindfulness, movement, and social-emotional learning. Kathy holds a master's degree in social work with over 20 years of experience in schools and was an adjunct faculty for St. Mary's University. Kathy has trained over 75,000 professionals in mindfulness, movement, and social-emotional strategies, and has partnered with the M Health Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital, United Hospital, St. Paul Children's Hospital, and Prairie Care Center for Families Outpatient Services to provide trauma-responsive practices on child, adolescent, and adult mental health units. She is co-author of Moving Mountains, an integrative manual to help youth with intensity, reactivity, and anxiety. Kathy has been a keynote speaker and presenter for more than 200 organizations and national conferences, including as a frequent breakout session presenter at our Twin Cities Jewish Community Mental Health Education Conference. Please join me in welcoming Kathy Flaminio.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. When people read your bio, I'm looking over the shoulder like, who are they talking about? I am so honored to be here today, truly. I'm so excited to learn from all of you and from our amazing speakers. We got to meet as a group a few weeks ago, and we're all in good hands because you all showed up. Now more than ever, it is so important that we have mental health be a part of our everyday conversation, from the kitchen table to the boardroom. We need each other. We need to talk about this. So I am super excited for this presentation. It's called Challenges into Superpowers. Okay, so it's interactive, everybody. Transforming your challenges into superpowers. So I'm gonna invite you, get your cape. I don't know what color it is. Maybe all the colors. Put your cape on, everybody. We're gonna put our cape on. All right, you gotta go with me. So I'm gonna see if this works. And that's my first challenge. So I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek. Some of you may have already seen me do this. Who's the person with the shoes off in the parking lot looking at the sun? I'm gonna invite you to get grounded with me. As the rabbi talked about, we have all parts of ourselves and we need to bring those parts with us. There's a part of me, little Kathy, that is terrified of public speaking, okay? And a few weeks ago, I would say about a week and a half ago, little Kathy got in the driver's seat and said, just call Tabitha, we're gonna call this off. We're not doing this, we are not presenting, okay? And I usually listen to little Kathy. Anybody have one of those where they're just like driving for you? And then sometimes I put little Kathy in the back seat and I'm like, we're not talking. We're going forward, I can do this. But today she's with me right here, just right here. And she knows that we need to get grounded. So I'm gonna invite you to get grounded with me. Because for a lot of us, just being in this whole group, this is scary. All right, so I'm gonna invite you right now. A lot of times, anybody feel tension in their neck and shoulders when you get nervous? Let's start to release that. Let's start to just release that. And I work with teens, and I've had teens, and I was a teen, and I often just looked at my mom and just said, whatever. So I'm gonna invite you right now for the next hour just to give yourself a break and just, let's exaggerate that one more time. And if it feels good, some people feel good turning their neck like this. Some people, maybe just turning your neck like this. Just give yourself a little break with me. And then we'll go to the other side. And then I had to put in my super tool, which I've already done a few times before I've spoke today, but I want to do it again with you. So I'm going to invite you to warm your hands. You're welcome to watch. You don't need to do this. We're going to see if our body's like this. You can place your hands on top of your head. These are called neurovascular holds, neuro, brain, vascular blood. So we're just getting blood to our frontal cortex. Or maybe you're going to cup your frontal cortex right now. See what feels right, or watch. And just take a few breaths with me. Feel your feet connect to the floor and the chairs support you. And just allow yourself to be here now. And then release. Shake off your hands. I held that a little longer because I needed that. Because when I take a break and get into my frontal cortex, the part of me that loves to speak, what's closest to my heart, says, we've got this. We've got this. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Ames, Iowa. My dad was an archaeologist and my mother was a social worker. I had a very supportive family. I had lots of friends. At that time, a sister and a brother. And I was also anxious. I had difficulty sitting still. I could not sit still in school. I was always moving. I had difficulty focusing. I had difficulty reading. I had ADHD and anxiety. So can you imagine being Jewish? Now, there are only 90 of us in Ames, Iowa. But every year, we got together with family and friends to tell the Passover story. Can you imagine someone that already is nervous about reading, and then not only do you have to read in English, but in Hebrew, and that everyone at the table reads? I remember sitting there like, oh my gosh, how many people are in front of me? I'd go paragraph by paragraph. What is the paragraph I need to read? I got to make sure I know every word, because I was terrified of mispronouncing words. My body could not hide what was happening. My hands were sweaty. Sometimes I broke out into hives. My heart beat. I was like, when are we going to eat? Now, don't get me wrong. I love the matzo ball soup, not the gefilte fish. It's an acquired taste. But when are we going to sing? Fast forward, I realize, number one, half the people at our table cannot pronounce the names in the cities, right? And by the third, fourth, fifth glass of wine, I'm serious, was anybody even listening? So in life, we get to choose where we place our attention. And where you place your attention, you create a story. And the story starts to define who you are in your life. Anybody feel that way? We got some doozies of stories, don't we? So for my parents, I'm sure they loved the story of Passover. We got to get together with families and friends, and we were cooking and eating and singing, and it was just fabulous. For me, that wasn't the story. I was terrified. I could not sit still. Like, how long is the service? Now as an adult, I'm like, this service is so short. It's so beautiful. I can't read. What is wrong with me? There's got to be something wrong with me. Can I get a little wave since we're going to be vulnerable today? Has anybody asked that question before? What is wrong with me? I think I didn't get everything that you get when you're built to be a human being. I must be missing something. Can I get a little hand raised there? Yeah. At that time, I was not able to access the inner resources you have in your hands right now of acceptance, courage, and resourcefulness. And boy, did I wish I had those. I wish I had those resources to know that, Kathy, you are brilliant. The world needs you. I'm going to say to you, you are brilliant. The world needs you now more than ever. So I think it's so interesting, my friends, that we teach what we need. That I became a social worker, working in Minneapolis Public Schools for 20 years, working with many people just like me that thought, something is wrong with me. And I started integrating these mind-body practices that helped me sit still, that helped me when I was anxious. They became my superpowers, along with my inner resources. And I developed this company which has me on stage right now, talking about a world where everyone thrives with breathe, move, rest practices, where everyone knows that inside you is the gift for the world. So I'm going to ask you right now, what if your greatest fear was your gift? What if what you fear the most is your gift? What if your mess, in quotations, is your message for the world? Now, don't get me wrong, we're all sitting here. It's like, I did not sign up for this. But I guess we did. Because I got a great partner right there, Chrissy Mignona, raise your hand, who just published a book right now on her greatest fear of not feeling safe in her life. And do you know what her book's called? I Am Safe. So I'm going to have you take a moment and just take that in. And grab your cheat sheet if you're a writer. If you're not a writer, you think about this, or you can draw. Some of us are drawers. So my life work has become this: integrating the science of mindfulness, movement, and social emotional learning into these simple practices which you're going to experience today with me, because we need each other. Are your capes still on? Did anybody throw off their cape? Because you got to put your cape back on. All right, so I'm going to have you take a moment and make this personal. What is something right now that is challenging for you? What is something right now that is challenging for you? Personally, professionally, and just take a moment and write down what's at your doorstep right now, or it has been at your doorstep for a while. And then what is the story you're telling yourself? So my challenge was, I can't read, I'm anxious. My story is, I'm stupid, something must be wrong with me, I'm missing something that everybody else has. This is terrifying and scary. What is your challenge and your story? And while you're bringing that up, you're going to notice what emotions are coming up. So your emotions are a part of you. So when I say I'm anxious, I'm starting to say a part of me is anxious right now. A part of me is scared. A part of me is super excited right now to be here with you. What emotions? And we just notice them with kindness and compassion. What's just coming up for you right now? So there's a book called The Body Keeps the Score. Some of you have heard that. And you can feel it right now, like even just sitting here. We're not where our challenge maybe is. Maybe we're sitting right in it. You're like, yep, it's head, shoulders, knees, and toes. It's right here. But your body is going to start to respond to what you're thinking. So we're going to start to not get rid of the mind or the body. We're going to connect your mind and body. It's called the mind-body connection. It's a super tool. So I'm going to invite you to understand and remember that your brain and body are brilliant. They are going to keep you safe at all costs. The body and brain are scanning to make sure we're safe at all costs. We have a thought. How many people, let's just be real, run anxious? It's just anxiety. It's just a part of every day, right? Am I the only one? Raise your hand, everybody. Raise your hand. We need to talk about this, because when we don't talk about it, then we think something's going on inside. I must be the only one. So my perseverating thoughts, which I did for the last 2 weeks, that woke me up in the middle of the night, you are not speaking. You're going to mispronounce something. And today I was like, go ahead. Please do mispronounce something. All right? But my brain that's working so fast, my beautiful brain, is actually trying to keep me safe to remember. It's just working too hard. All right? So are you ready to work with the body and the brain together? Shake out your hands, everyone. Let's just shake. Does anybody know why I would love for you to just shake throughout the day? What does this do? Releases tension. Gets blood flowing. This is a contracted muscle. Okay, when my muscles get tight and contracted, blood, put your hand here, blood is taken from your frontal cortex and it's brought to your extremities. All right, we need our blood in our frontal cortex. Not only to think, to listen, learn, and make good choices, but to have that human connection. I think we're missing that right now. Where's the blood flow to the frontal cortex? So we can have that human connection. I see you. I'm so glad you're here. So I'm going to have you scan now from head to toe. We're going to get a little deeper. So feet are on the floor, and you're just going to go from head to toe. You can use your hand like this, or you can just drop in, and you're going to notice. You can stand up or sit down, and just notice from head to toe what your physical body is letting you know right now. Where are you feeling it? So I'm noticing I'm thirsty. I'm noticing my right hip. Just for you, where are you noticing it? Any physical sensations? If you like swaying while you're doing this, you can sway. Notice your head space this morning. Are you feeling super clear? Is it foggy? Is it scattered? Is it focused? Just notice. And then just, again, check in emotionally. How are we doing? What's showing up? And then I'm going to have you swing side to side. And if you're in the chair, you can just turn. Otherwise, if you touch someone, it's good luck, then move away. Just get your body moving a little bit. Get your body moving. Honor where you're at right now. Give it a little shake. Reach your arms up and maybe just even fake it right now. Just say yes. Yes. Got through the first part of the presentation. Shake it out. Go ahead and have a seat. We're going to come back to the neurovascular hold. So I'm going to invite you, you can go back and place your hands on the front of the cortex or the back, or you can just place one hand on your heart, and it's just slightly touching this little indentation in the throat, not pushing, just what it's doing is it's telling the body and trying to deactivate your fight, flight, freeze. So we just take a few breaths here. If you want the full emergency kit for when you wake up at 3 in the morning, if you like this one, here it is. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. And for me, I've been doing it enough, I can start to feel it. Sometimes we don't feel anything right now. Sometimes our hands are like, ooh, I don't like that one. So listen to your body. One more breath. And then shake it off. So can you hear in my voice? I know something's happening. My voice is lower and slower. So stress and trauma is just too much, too fast, too soon. Too much is happening, and it's too fast and it's overwhelming. What we want to try to do when we connect the mind and body is just take it down low and slow. Find your feet, wiggle your toes. And then hopefully today we're going to build a toolkit. I'm the first session. You've got all day to build in these tools to activate that relaxation response, or what we call like a relaxed alert state. So my body's relaxed and my brain is alert and ready to connect. Does anybody ever find themselves doing this if someone tells them a story like, I'm so sorry? We just reach for our heart. So some of these things I'm showing you, these practices, these tools you already do. But I get very excited when it's based in science. All right? So in our team, when we say we take the science into simple practices, I want to know, like, why when I do this, what am I activating? So what you're activating is the coolest thing in your body. One of them, it's called your vagus nerve. And your vagus nerve, go ahead if you like to feel where things are in your body, just that little indentation in the back, just start there, trace behind your ear. I'll talk about this point in a second. Do you feel that little dent? You don't have to push on it. Vagus nerve comes down here. It tentacles down the throat. And can you see it goes all the way down, if that whole slide was working, to the small intestine. It's the super nerve that connects the top of the body to the bottom. And it is in charge of activating a relaxation response. Now, if it's really in danger, it does what's called a vasovagal response. Has anybody ever had that where you pass out? You're like, okay, that's not what I want. But at that moment, that probably kept you safe, okay? So what it shuts down. When it's too overwhelming, we gotta shut her down. But we don't wanna shut her all the way down. We want the superhighway nerve to activate a relaxation response in our body. So anybody wanna try a few things? Guess what you did already? We sang. Singing and humming activates the vagus nerve. How interesting at Passover, when we're telling our story of survival, we are walking through every year our trauma, so we will never forget. We tell the story to our children, and what do? We sing. And you see this cross-culturally in all cultures, singing, dancing, humming, healing. So take a breath in, and let's hum. Where's my choir people? Let's try that again. Breathe in. Anybody find themselves humming during the day? You're activating your vagus nerve. It's brilliant. Beautiful. Now, this next move I'm going to show you, we either love it or we don't like it at all. That's been my experience. For me, if I have thoughts that just are kind of gripping over and over, I like to break it with a hum where I plug my ears. You'll know if you like it or not right away. So let's see if you like it or not. If you like it, you're going to put it as a tool. If you don't, your brain and body's smart. Take a breath in. And then shake it out. Thumbs up, I like that one. Sideways or down. All right, so we got some yay and we got some nay. And your brain and body's super smart. The next thing we're gonna do is what's called cupping the vagus nerve. So a finger not pushing, just lightly pressing. And we just go like this and we hold the vagus nerve. Isn't it funny that kids do this in school? And they get in trouble? Not anymore. This is a vagus nerve intervention. Take a breath. I'm I'm going to have you come up with a word, just how you want to show up today. So is it present, strong, brave? Maybe it's your inner resource card that picked you. And just when you breathe in, maybe say, I am, and when you breathe out that word. And then gently release. Oh, you can hear my voice today, that worked. I think it's interesting, sometimes we hold people like this. Hello, I love to see you. Hold the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve, hand on heart and belly. Take a breath. Now we're cupping a bunch of places on the vagus nerve. Exhale your air out. Inhale, belly rises all the way up to the top of the lungs. Exhale, release. Let's do it a few more times. One more time. And then we notice, thumbs up, I like that one. Sideways, down. If you like it, if you're a writer, there's a little thing that says, what breathe, move, rest practices do you like? So the thing is, we can like something and then we never do it. Anybody have things like, you know what you need to do to stay healthy? Anybody, like I know exactly how many glasses of water, all those things I need to do, and I don't do them. But I love Post-it notes, so I have Post-it notes everywhere. My poor husband in our house, when I'm brushing my teeth, what went well today? What do I want to forgive? Who do I want to forgive? What did I learn? I mean, I want to journal about all that. I know gratitude is so important. I can't find my journal, then I can't find my pen, then I forget to put my journal and my pen next to my bed, which is like my place I'm supposed to be, and I'm like, I brush my teeth for 2 minutes. I can do my gratitude, I do my forgiveness, Louisa, and I talk about how I'm going to learn, all right? So let's build the toolkit. Now, for some of us, and I was one, definitely, when we first started doing breath work, I'm like, this makes me anxious. When someone says, like, anybody feel that way when you're anxious and then someone says, just focus on your breath or focus on your thoughts? I'm like, what? That is making me feel more anxious. And everybody's like, breathing. Breathing is so good. Breathing is. Breathing can change how you feel. Noticing your thoughts, super important. But if your thoughts are constantly moving all the time, we say the mind is a dangerous place. Don't go in there alone. There's just a lot going on in there. But what if we had different breathing exercises? What if we had exercises that actually allow those anxious thoughts, those angry thoughts to actually move? Because when you feel it, you can heal it. When you start to feel emotions, emotions need the time to move through you. Now, a scientist said it, and I've heard it like 3 times this last week, and I want to think about it more, but they say an actual emotion there's my speech, lasts about 90 seconds if we don't mess with it. So like the feeling of grief and anxiety, it comes in. Anybody grief wave, you can feel it's a wave. It comes in, it comes in, it comes in, it crosses. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get back in the body, get back in the body. All right, so we're going to do what's called the shh breath. And it's when, people are bothering you and you just want to go shh. But the science is when you're angry, blood is taken from the frontal cortex through your hands. So we wonder why we just want to go, ah. So let's have you do this. Take your hands. We're going to take a breath in. It's weird. We're going to start doing stuff that it's different. And then we're just going to go, oh, you look great, everybody. Shh. And just breathe in. Shh. And breathe in. Shh. One more time. Shh. Shake it out. Ooh, now I got a little lightheaded. Now I'm going to come back to something that's going to ground me again. So is it here? Is it here? Does this feel grounding to you? Does this feel grounding? What feels grounding to you when we just take a few breaths? You can also just tense your muscles. So the other day we were working in a school And a few teachers are like, I don't know about this mind body, I don't know. So I said, how do you know when you're getting escalated and alerting? Because your nervous system is the curriculum here. The kids are watching you. And they're like, I just tense up my hands, or I start to shake. And I said, that's the response we need to go all the way through. So you could just, if you're feeling tense, squeeze into it. So let's just start to do that. Breathe in, squeeze your eyes, cheeks, jaw, shoulders, arms, hands, belly, legs, toes. Give it a little squeeze. And then release. And then shake it out. We also could do lion's breath, because when you get, anybody have tight jaw? So the jaw gets really tight, and we want to release the jaw throughout the day. So this one's kind of bizarre. You're going to go like this, and you're just going to go, bah! Just follow the people that have come to my presentations. Ready? Bah! And get really like wild. Just go, bah! Okay, you did that. Now wipe the drool off. Take your arms overhead, and let's back bend in our chair and just go, blah. Good, and then come to something more mellow. So I'm gonna invite you to stay seated and do this, or start to stand. And we're gonna just do what's called breath connection. This is a soothing move for many of us. Many of us sing like this, stand like this. So if you wanna stand, you can, and we're gonna either twist a little bit more, or you can stay close with your rock. Now, sometimes when we hold these points, you're holding the elbow and the side of the body, this can deactivate our flight fight. We're holding both sides. So see what's right for you and take a few breaths. Who likes this one? Let's add some language. Just if you like, right in this moment, I am safe. See if you like that. And then give it a little shake. You can stay standing, or you can have a seat. Now, being the child that could not sit still, my leg does this all the time. Does anybody have one of these feet, the feet that do this, and sit like this, and go like this? Has anybody had a baby, been a baby, and anyone does this to you? What is this? This is tapping. This is rhythm. Rhythm is helpful with trauma. Something that's rhythm, heartbeat. But there are different points in your body that you can start to tap that might be helpful. We often feel anxiety up in the upper part of our chest. So I'm going to invite you to massage here, tap here, or go off your skin. And we're going to take a few breaths and exhale out. Tabitha and I were doing this right before we came on. Breathe in, exhale out. And then we're going to go to another point right here. This can help with digestion. If it's sore, maybe massage here. Take a breath in, exhale out, breathe in and out. And then for some of us that get headaches or stomach aches, this is a grounding point right underneath our eyes. Let's see if we like that. Breathing in and just exhale out. If it feels good, maybe go around your eyes. And maybe those of us that like these tapping, maybe we just kind of go wild and go all over our face. Maybe we just tap behind our ears a few times. And then just stop and notice. All of the things we've created are super simple, but they have messaging. So I'm going to invite you, if you like any of those points, you can see the kids doing it, just go back to that point that you liked, that just felt good. If tapping's not your strategy, that's good. Your brain and body are smart. And then shake it out. So what do we think about that one? Thumbs up, sideways, down. All right, if it's one of yours, write it down. And then when might you do it? I'm going to do tapping while I'm getting my coffee. I'm going to do tapping when I'm at the line and I have a brand new cashier, and I'm so hungry and I need to get home. I'm going to do tapping before prayer. When are we doing tapping? When can we hook it on if that's your superpower? So now that we've done some mind-body practices, right, and gotten our body hopefully a little bit regulated, we're going to start to use the inner resources. The inner resources were created by Jackie Levine. And the inner resources are parts of you and me that allow us to navigate our joys and challenges. I wish I had those inner resources. Let me reframe that. Access the inner resources. Remembered that I have these inside me. So I'm going to say to you today that your inner resources are here to support you. Never in my wildest dreams, even when people read my bio, I am looking over my shoulder. Never in my wildest dreams if someone said to me as a 7-year-old, and you're going to grow up and you're going to be a public speaker. And I would say absolutely no. But between the mind-body practices that I discovered when I was a social worker in the schools and the inner resources, I can be here right now. And so can you. Because the world needs you. So are you ready to work with them? All right, we're going to start. So grab your piece of paper. We're going to be thinking about our challenge, what we wrote down. Maybe just take a peek at what you wrote down or in your mind or drew. And I'm going to invite you with the challenge that is showing up right now to partner with inner resource acceptance. This is how it is sometimes. This is how it is sometimes. Right? Acceptance doesn't mean we want everything to be happening. It has shown up right now in our lives. So inner resource acceptance is a superpower when I remember acceptance never judges. Let's just say that in our head. Acceptance never judges. I can be here now just as I am. I can be in this moment just as it is. Just take that in for a moment. How has your challenge invited you to be with acceptance? Take a moment to think, all right, how has your challenge invited you to be with acceptance? And the blessing and wish for all of us today, this is a hard one to say. I don't know how you do it. Just a part of you can be at peace with what is. And I'm going to say in this moment that we all deserve a break, just to let it be for a second. Just to let it be. I can be in this moment just as it is. Nervous, excited, scared, grieving. I welcome all parts. So when we can be with acceptance, my friends, we're able to be with courage. So I'm going to have you think about your situation and maybe just say to yourself, I am brave. I usually don't say things out loud, but can we kind of just say it out loud today if you want? Ready? I am brave. And then we claim it. I am brave. And then you sing it, I am brave. So when courage becomes a superpower is when we can remember that it takes great courage to be who I really am. If it's at my gate, I can handle it. When we remember to be with courage. Now, if something is at your gate right here and you're feeling, anybody feel like you're right here with life? It's just so close. It's really hard to hear that. If it's at my gate, I can handle it. In fact, it's a little offensive when people have said, everything happens for a reason. If it's at your gate, oh, that is just not feeling well. This part of courage is when we have a little distance. And I'm going to have you just look around because you're all sitting here right now. And you've handled the hardest thing in your life that you didn't think you could handle. I've got goosebumps. Anybody feel that way? Where you just didn't think you're going to make it. And I'm so glad you did because the world needs you. So inner resource courage wants us all to remember is may you acknowledge how brave you are and how brave you have been. May you take the first or next step into the unknown with ease and grace. And may you move beyond discomfort to what really matters in your life. Can you just take a moment? How has your challenge invited you to be with courage? How has your challenge invited you to be with courage? Anybody want to say out loud? We have time. How has your challenge invited you to be with courage? Yeah. I have the courage to receive. What a gift. We're mainly the givers, aren't we? Yes. Cutting ties with toxic people that aren't good for us. That takes a lot of courage. There's a no card out there. What's that? Yeah. What else? 2 more people. This is so helpful. Yeah. Being open to being dyslexic. It's so important. It's so important because if we don't talk about it, if we don't put mental health and all the challenges we have out front, everybody's going to think, something's wrong with me. There's nothing wrong. That's courage. What else? Yeah. Yes, dealing with children's mental illness. That takes a lot of courage. These superpowers are with you when we remember to pull them up. So when we accept, in quotations, where we are, and we activate that courage and bravery, we can be with inner resourceful. Who has the resourceful card? Just raise your hand. Anybody have your little cards? There is a way, and I'm the way. So I'm going to have you do a little move because we've been sitting longer in my, knowing me. Come up and stretch over to one side and just try these words on. There is a way, and I'm the way. And go to the other side. Back bend in your chair. Try this language on. There is a way, I'm the way. There is a way, and I'm the way. So resourceful becomes a superpower when we remember, I know enough, I have enough, I'm more than enough. Try those words on. It can be easy or easier than I think. Let's just try those on. It can be easy or easier than I think. So how has your challenge invited you to be resourceful? How has your challenge invited you to be resourceful? Who would like to share? As we are building this toolkit throughout the day, you're going to be in sessions with each other. How has your your challenge invited you to be resourceful? Yeah. Forced me to make my values my priorities. Anybody else feel that that challenge has helped you do that? Me for sure. Yeah, what else? Yeah. So not having the means and then being resourceful to go to college? Yes. Slow things down and ask questions. Can you, I need you all to hear, and I'm saying it to myself too. These challenges are our superpower. We are going to partner with Inner Resources. They become a superpower of what the world needs. What else? Yes. And there is a part of you like, did I really sign up for this, right? Learning things I never thought I would ever need to, what was the ending? That I never needed to know, or didn't know. I've learned a whole new repertoire of things. What else? When you feel alone, you tap into your resources. Let's just take a breath, everybody. How have you activated resourcefulness in your life? I realize I can't do it alone. I need to ask for help. We're not made to do it alone. Except we're raised in a world where it's just like, do it alone, the rugged individualism. That's not how the heart works. Thank you. Don't have to do it alone.
What I want to do for myself, like have my second bar mitzvah and start preparing for it.
Excellent. Figure out what I want to do for myself and have my second bar mitzvah. One more. Yeah. Yeah, so having a emotion resource wheel, so you're able to look and see what's going on. Is that what I'm? Yes, those emotion wheels. I thought I only had like 4 emotions, but the emotion wheel helps you identify, because emotion, the word emotion means it needs to move. So I'm going to invite you to take a moment and just look at what you wrote down or thought about, how inner resource, acceptance, courage, and resourceful have supported you, and circle a few things that are standing out from what you wrote. Because we're starting to transform our challenge and our story into a superpower. So how are you integrating? What did you write? Just circle. Maybe some words that are popping out. Just look at your paper and just circle if you'd like. So this is life work. This is daily work. It's called mental health hygiene work. Every day, we're finding practices, we're activating our inner resources. So today we worked with 3 of the 26 that we have. But one of those resources picked you, and so I'm gonna have you pull out if you got a card. If you didn't, we might have more over here. And look at what card picked you. If you don't have a card, we might have a few more. And how has that challenge in your life invited you to be with that card that just picked you? Go ahead and take a moment to read it. So if anybody knows any of my work, we always take a nap at the end. We always take a nap, and rest is where everything is integrated. Rest is where we're able to integrate and reflect and transform our challenge into our superpower inner resource. So before we take a nap, it's only going to be like a 1-minute nap. It's just a 1-minute break, all right? I want to mention that when you're feeling these emotions, and I love the emotion wheel so we can start to identify, meet the body where it's at. So if you're feeling really anxious and shaky, remember, start to shake or tap. If you're feeling angry, tense up and release. If you're feeling like this feels so overwhelming, cup your frontal cortex. Let yourself be there. Meet your body where it's at. So I'm going to invite you, if you like to have the hands somewhere on the heart, if you want to hold your forehead, or you just want to look down, or you want to close your eyes, or whatever is comfortable, I'm going to stop talking for a minute, and we're just going to take a 1-minute rest where we just let go of this whole session. Let the chair support us. Just come back to our breath. Just give yourself a break. Maybe coming into gratitude, thank you, acceptance. Thank you, courage. Thank you, resourcefulness. And take a breath in and slow breath out. Find your feet and wiggle your toes. Maybe take your hands, brush them against your fingers, just getting yourself here. Maybe release your neck. And either write or reflect, what are your tools you're going to take away today? What are your tools? This is the beginning of the toolkit for the whole day today. This is the point of the conference, is to build your toolkit. What are a few tools you can take away? And if you're ready,
that would be me.
What is your new story? What is your new story about your challenge? We are all in this story. We must move past discomfort to what really matters. Joy. Anybody else? Yeah. I have the answers within. Thank you. Notice how you're feeling when people share. This is the mind-body connection. Joy is my birthright. Being open to take my own advice. I love these stories. I love these stories. Oh my gosh, I went from fear and shame and overwhelmed, and I transformed it into, I can do this. So here's the whole point. We are here, and I'm going to say this with just such affirmation. You were born into this time, right now in history, where we need your gifts and talents. Your challenges have gotten you to this point right here. So I'm going to leave you with inner resource, dream. May you do what you're good at, what calls you, I guess we have a theme here, and what brings you joy. Thank you all so, so much. And guess what? Little Kathy is right here with me. Thank you all so much for coming here. I'm super excited for our sessions that we have. Chrissy and I will be at our booth if you have any questions. Here is our contact information. Every Monday we send out a pause. It's just, I wanted every Monday to have something in my mailbox that was reminding me that I deserve a break. So thank you all, and thank you, Tabitha, for having me here today. Everyone, oops, test, all right.